Right now, News 8 at 10. Viola's mayor arrested, accused of stealing money from the city. Tonight, we'll look at more than 36 charges he's facing and how much he allegedly stole. Plus, as the Henry Dinkins trial continues, a Davenport police officer takes the stand.
As I was looking at it, I could see what appeared to be some type of white cloth or paper on the serrated edge of the machete.
We'll show you how his testimony about what he found inside Dinkins' RV seems to corroborate testimony we heard at the start of the trial. And later,
Jonathan Fong reporting in Davenport, where alternating current is kicking off not just with a blast of sound, but with a blast of color.
You just kind of jump in and you can't be afraid of a big space.
We talked with a couple artists here who are getting set up to give this blank mural a fresh coat of paint.
News 8 at 10 starts right now.
You're watching WQAD News 8 at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm John Diaz. We begin with developing news. The mayor of Viola, Illinois is under arrest tonight, facing more than 36 charges. According to court documents, 57-year-old Michael Lester is charged with 1 count of theft for allegedly stealing up to $10,000. He also faces 38 counts of official misconduct. Lester is listed as the current mayor of Viola on the village's website. His first court appearance is scheduled for Monday. We will continue to follow this story on the air and online at WQAD.com. A 71-year-old Rock Island man was shot at his home last night just before 11. The Rock Island Police Department responded to a shooting on 13th Street. They found the man with injuries to his arm and lower back. Now, according to officers, the man tried to remove several young people from his home when one allegedly pulled out a handgun and shot him. Police have not made any arrests. The man's injuries were not life-threatening. It is day 6 of the trial of Henry Dinkins, a man accused of killing 10-year-old Breasia Terrell in 2020. Prosecutors called a Davenport police officer who shared what he found inside of Dinkins' RV. The officer was executing a search warrant after Breasia was reported missing when he discovered a white T-shirt, a pair of pants, and tennis shoes, all covered in dirt. The officer also noted a machete on top of a microwave.
Did you make any observations of its condition?
As I was looking at it, I could see what appeared to be some type of white cloth or paper on the serrated edge of the machete.
Now, the state argued that it appears the machete was cleaned off. That's a theory that matches Breasia's younger brother's claim that he saw Dinkins clean a bloody machete. But the defense points that no female DNA was found on Dinkins. And we have continuing coverage of the trial. We are streaming it live every day on our website and on our YouTube page. A piece of Holocaust history stopped in Davenport today and was on display briefly at the Jewish Federation of the Quad Cities. The pre-World War II Holocaust rail car will eventually be housed at the Danville Station Museum. The project began 5 years ago and took over 2,000 hours of meticulous restoration to get it to this point. Organizers say we need to continue Holocaust education so it's never repeated.
My father is a Holocaust survivor from Czechoslovakia, so to be able to see this important symbol of the Holocaust coming into the parking lot here at the synagogue, it was just an amazing event.
A $500,000 grant from the Iowa Economic Development Authority helped fund the project. It's estimated that 6 million Jews were killed during the Holocaust. And tonight, the city of Muscatine is launching a county-wide housing market analysis. Now, according to the city, the analysis will help the county better understand its housing challenges and give insight on opportunities for development. The project is in partnership with the cities of West Liberty and Wilton. Planning will begin this month. The project is expected to end in February. More than 1.5 million dehumidifiers are under recall after nearly 24 caught fire. It affects 42 different models sold between 2011 and 2014, all made by Gree Electric Appliances Company. Just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen right now for a complete list of brands and models. All were sold at stores across the country, including Walmart, Home Depot, and Sam's Club. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says you should stop using the appliance and contact the company for a refund. Today marks the 83rd start of the new Windsor Fair and Rodeo, and as News 8's Jenna Webster explains, it's all put together by generations of Mercer County families.
1, 2.
Thursday morning, it's the final countdown to the New Windsor Rodeo and Fair.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Testing the sound system, cleaning the rides.
It's not your first rodeo, you might say.
And checking in all those fruits and veggies for judging.
Okay, and then we had potatoes.
It's a weekend full of history and traditions.
Oh, right there.
History and traditions you don't have to go very far to see.
My mom and I started probably, how many years ago did we start doing
A
it?
community history.
Maybe 10, 12.
At its core.
Behind are history items.
Kelly Weber is this year's fair and rodeo president. The first woman taking over after it was run for 83 years by men.
Sometimes I think us ladies see a few more things.
It's in her family history, too.
My dad started in 1979 as a hired man. He worked 2 years on the board, and then he was voted on as a director. So I've been involved since I could walk. That was not an option.
It means everything to my family because we work as hard as we can to keep this rodeo going.
Kelly's daughter, Ann, now on the board, too, in charge of all the contestants and acts soon to fill this arena.
We actually have the trick riders back this year, which is, I know, a fan favorite for everybody.
But all that wouldn't be possible without one family.
I actually joined the rodeo through my husband, the Streeter family, and they are a founding father of the rodeo, the Flack family.
Leading to 3 days a year, the town always looks forward to.
83 years strong, and I look for it to be passed on again to many generations ahead of us.
Generations.
Man, you guys grow nice onions.
That will only continue to grow, this tradition, in New Windsor.
And my sister will be here in a little bit to help us.
Jenna Webster, WQAD, News 8.
We kind of...
Such a great tradition in our own backyard. And James, not your first rodeo either. You were out there today, as you have been before.
I was, and the crowds just get even bigger and better. And hats off to that committee, especially Kelly Weber. Fabulous job they're doing out there. Yeah. It just seems to get bigger and better. Can you believe 83 years they've been doing this, this rodeo?
They're pros at this point.
They very much are. And it's a great family event, too. Right. So we got a couple of more days of that. If you can, take advantage of some pretty nice weather, kind of like we had today, where we had a good amount of sunshine built in after seeing some active weather earlier on this morning with some hail in some of our hometowns. Upper 70s, right around 80 that we had for daytime highs. Here, the current readings across the board are cooling off pretty quickly. No surprise with the clear skies and the dry air in place. Temperatures range from mid-upper 60s from Burlington to Keokuk to as cool as 59. We're noticing in Clinton, as well as over in Dubuque. At the airport of Moline, we're at 64 degrees. It was rather a breezy day throughout, especially over at New Windsor. But you can see those winds are looking a whole lot lighter. And combined with that, with the elements that we have, the clear skies and dry air, it is going to be a cool night indeed. Make sure that you not just crack open the window, but not so wide open, given all these cool numbers that we're anticipating. That's going to lead to one more real decent, pleasant day around here before that high heat begins to build in, and in a big way, too, especially with that humidity. Tell you what those numbers look like. Coming up in just a few minutes, John.
Alrighty, thanks, James. Still ahead, earning class credit outside the classroom, how learning about agriculture is becoming easier for some Illinois students.
And we're live in downtown Davenport, where a new mural is going up this week. We'll explain the draw for public art and why artists here tonight say this one is going to be special. You're watching News 8 at 10.
Alternating Currents kicks off today, a mix of music, film, comedy, and art. And for the first time this year, mural artists are getting the chance to paint away. News 8's Jonathan Fong caught up with a couple of artists who find out what makes mural art so special. It's new tonight at 10.
If you've seen any of these around downtown Davenport, one of these artists...
Yeah, I got these caps.
What do you... Oh, look at them.
Yeah, there you go.
...might be behind it.
I ordered a bunch of these caps.
Tony Cavallo and Heidi Sallows are setting up for a new mural off East 2nd Street. 5 artists will get a chance to make their mark on this blank canvas. Big philosophical question, right?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Heidi and I have a little chat outside, and I ask her, why mural art?
It's not in a gallery, so you have a wider amount of people, different varieties of people that are going to see this thing, instead of it just being in a gallery where only a gallery goer is going to see it.
It's a passion she's had since the 90s.
You just kind of jump in and you can't be afraid of a big space.
How did you first get into doing mural art like this?
Oh, I was just born deranged.
Born deranged.
Every question I toss at Tony comes with an interesting answer. What do you hope people will understand more about art where you do it?
I don't. I hope they're inspired to figure it out themselves instead of just letting other people do it.
But whatever the reasons,
Use blue for your shadows.
no doubt about it,
If you want to make shadows, use blue, not black.
this kind of art is their passion.
You know, murals speak to everybody, you know, anybody who's in the area that'll see it.
And we're live here in downtown Davenport where the mural is being painted. There's still artists here hard at work even here in the night. I want to step a little bit to the side and show you what's going on here. So what they're actually doing is they're actually using a computer projector to kind of project an image of what they're thinking about drawing, or I should say painting on screen. You can see here it helps them figure out how to lay it out, and they're trying to do some of the painting already and making pretty good progress already. There's going to be 5 artists here that are going to be featured on this mural, and they're going to be hoping to get this kind of done by about, I would say, Sunday at 3 p.m. is what I've been told. And something to note about this is that this has been a lot of hard work they've been putting together. It's the first time that it's happening. If you want to see it for yourself, you can come see it just off of East 2nd Street. But for now, live in Davenport, Jonathan Fong, WQAD News 8.
That looks so cool. We have everything you need to know about the Alternating Currents Festival on WQAD.com.
Yeah, really impressed. Weather's cooperating too, by the way. And we'll be doing that for quite a while, at least when it comes to our skies. Temperatures, that'll be the big change. Fortunately, one more pleasant day before those temperatures really begin to roast us in a big way. I'll tell you what those numbers look like right after the break here on News 8 at 10.
Take a look at this video from Amy Johnson. Aledo residents woke up to hail, which started falling around 6 this morning. Teresa Bell also sent us this photo of hail covering her deck. Just incredible to see all this, James, but really quite a different picture tonight because it's a beautiful night tonight.
Beautiful. It's going to be quiet, and I think we're going to be saying the word quiet a lot in our forecast in the coming days, that is for sure. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, not too bad of a day after some of that active weather made its way through some of our hometowns with those showers and thunderstorms, as well as some of that hail that gave us kind of an early wake-up call, I think, for some of us, but all looking good across the board. That's some good news. Here's a verification of that with our satellite picture. Hard to find any serious cloud cover across eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois. That system that actually blew through here this morning, now well off to the east, now making its way across the southern New England states. More active showers and thunderstorms expected there. Some sudden wind gusts, maybe some hail with that wave as it continues to make its way off to the northeast. Continuing with that northwest flow, which, by the way, could actually kind of grab some of that smoke aloft from those Canadian wildfires and make an appearance around here as early as tomorrow, but just for tomorrow. Also, we're keeping an eye on is that heat. Yeah, that's definitely going to be on track as far as the weekend is concerned, slowly to build in with the core and the peak of this heat still on track as we head to early next week. Let's talk about those temperatures, and especially tonight, and what a cool one it will be for most of our hometowns. Lower 50s for overnight lows, but there'll be some spots. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw those lows even dip as cool as the upper 40s. May want to even question about cracking open that window as we hit overnight. And then come tomorrow, I expect to see those temperatures literally a degree or two warmer with daytime highs expected around the lower 80s. But with that northwest flow, the air stays nice and dry and keeps it very comfortable at least for one more day. That makes us into the weekend, and you can see those numbers begin to jump up. 88 on Saturday. Still like to see 95 as we head to Sunday. And we're going to start building that heat even more. In fact, here's our heat tracker in the days ahead with that heat building on in. Temperatures will be making their way not only in the mid-90s on Sunday, but possibly even reaching the upper 90s as we get to about Tuesday. At least some of the house models are indicating that. Factor in some of the humidity with those hot temperatures, and you're talking about those feels like temperatures. Those heat indices are well over 100 degrees, and of course the hottest still on track as we get to about Tuesday or so. So all of it depends on the amount of air that will be compressing, sinking out of the surface, warming. That will be the big challenge when it comes to those temperatures. Pretty quiet in our skies, too, in the days ahead. Today, when we could potentially see that next round of wet weather right after this.
The Oak Ridge Boys are bringing their front porch singing tour to Rhythm City Casino Friday, September 1st. Don't miss the Grammy Award-winning multi-platinum album sellers behind Elvira. 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 Bobby Sue. Bobby Sue. American Made and more. Tickets available at RhythmCityCasino.com or at the market at Rhythm City.
What a nice evening it is. 64 degrees we have outside. West winds around 5. Take a look at the accurate forecast from Storm Track 8. Clear skies, a much cooler night. Low will dip down around 53, and then, oh, what a nice day. Nice way to end the work week with mostly sunny skies and a high of 82 degrees. There's that heat that will be building in across the area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 days in a row, maybe. Potentially numbers 90 or better, the highest coming in on Tuesday. And then we'll trim those numbers back in the 80s heading the following weekend. However, John, look at that. Not 14-day outlook, no organized chance for wet weather that we see with that 14 days. That may change a little bit, may tweak it sometime later in the next week, but right now, high and dry for the rest of the month. 3-degree guarantee, sponsored by good friends at Eric Chevrolet in Milan. They're forecasting 80. It got to 80. $20 going in the pot.
What a perfect day in every respect.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, including with that one.
Especially come tomorrow. Will be a good one indeed.
All right. Thank you, James. All right. Getting credit for learning about agriculture will soon be easier for Illinois students involved in Future Farmers of America and 4-H events. A bill signed into law on Monday amends the state's requirements for K-12 school attendance. So starting in January, students can be considered, quote, in class when they take part in organized competitions or exhibitions for FFA and 4-H. Students are still responsible, though, for getting the assignments they miss if they miss class time. All right, just ahead in sports, ready to bounce back while the United Township football team feels this fall will be much different, and how the Panthers plan on proving the doubters wrong. That's up next with News 8 Sports.
We are 8 days and counting until the start of the high school football season. Tonight's score preview takes us to United Township, where the Panthers are eager to bounce back this fall. The United Township Panthers hit a roadblock last season.
We thought we were better than we were, just completely honest with you.
A season that started with high expectations, ended with a 1-8 overall record.
It's hard to ignore because we had such high expectations and that didn't happen. So it's definitely motivating for us, but it's also we kind of try to put it in the back of our mind as well.
I do like that they have that fire and they have that burn in the pit of their stomach and a bad taste in their mouth, and you can imagine that they're hearing it from people across town or other towns that are pretty close by, and it's a little extra motivation to make sure that we do a better job of not letting that happen again this year.
The foundation is in place for a big bounce-back season. United Township returned 7 starters on offense, including all-Western Big Six wide receiver Corey Randall and third-year starting quarterback Matthew Kelly.
Consistency is a big word, but I also think we've got a lot of explosiveness. We always have, but this year there's like another element. You start to look around and you have that cautious optimism.
Just know we're really explosive on the field, really explosive. We got a lot of good running backs, a lot of good receivers. We got a lot of new weapons to try out.
Despite the returning talent, the outside expectations remain low for UT.
Maggie Tim posted his Big Six predictions, and we're the only team below us is Galesburg, and Allman's not on there. So I think there's 15 sheets of it hung up in the locker room, and there's 60 more in my book bag in case we need motivation.
Work, compete, get better.
We got to focus on ourselves because UT has beaten UT, and we need to stop doing that.
Work on me, work on 3, 1, 2, 3, work.
But these Panthers are out to prove people wrong and make the postseason for the first time since 2001.
Just having that big chip on our shoulder is huge. That's all we ever think about. We talk about it every day in practice. We 1-8 last year, haven't made the playoffs in 20-some years. It's just like we always hear it. We never hear the end of it, and now we just want to change that.
We can sense there's a huge sense of community in the United Township area, and so we want to be able to be that senior class that's like, hey, look, you guys are supporting us, and we're putting it back out there for you.
United Township will kick off their season at the Soul Bowl when they host LaSalle Peru. We continue our score previews tomorrow at 6 with Anna on Weathersfield as we check in with the Titans. Don't forget the Quad City's only half-hour high school football show is The Score. It returns guest grillers and all Friday, August 25th at 10:35. A new era is officially underway in Iowa City with a new leader at the helm of the Hawkeye Athletic Department. The University of Iowa holding an introductory press conference with interim AD Beth Getz this afternoon. Getz took the reins from Gary Barta on August 2nd. A wide variety of subjects were discussed, from NIL to Brian Ferentz' contract to the recent gambling investigation for state or college athletics in the state of Iowa. The new AD hopes for some closure on that very soon.
On the reinstatement process specifically, we have submitted all the requested information to date to the NCA, and we're optimistic that we are just hopefully days away, perhaps, from getting some feedback, at least initially, on what that means for our student athletes who currently are here and have remaining eligibility. There's obviously some additional steps in the process once that decision is rendered, but we're optimistic that might happen here in short order as opposed to a few weeks down the road.
Getz also had an update on the crossover at Kinnick Stadium with the women's basketball team. Iowa fans have already bought more than 30,000 tickets for the exhibition game coming up in October. Pleasant Valley's Rusty Van Wetzinga bet on himself. The former Spartan standout declined a full-ride scholarship from Southern Illinois late last spring, instead taking a preferred walk-on offer at Iowa. So far, so good. Van Wetzinga is already making an impact in Iowa City. The true freshman finds himself in the two deeps at fullback, catching the attention of head coach Kirk Ferentz and his coaching staff early on. Rusty happy to be a Hawkeye and is eager to make the most of his new opportunity.
It's going good, just getting out here, meet a ton of guys that are like-minded, and, every day we're getting better, so it's been awesome. Keep improving in the film room, know all the offensive plays and, formations, but same as I was in high school, you got to be physical. I mean, that's every fullback. You won't ever make it at any level if you're not physical, fast, and tough, so that's the Hawkeye standard too. I don't really know what's going to happen when we're out there, the emotions and stuff, but it's a dream come true, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Iowa kicks off the 2023 season at home, hosting Utah State on September 2nd. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
All right, 64 degrees we have outside. Skies are clear. Look at that dew point temperature around 55. I think we'll be right around that for the overnight low. So, yeah, much cooler night. And then one more very nice, pleasant day. Temperatures right around 82 degrees. And here comes the heat building in. Those stretching 90s still on track, especially by early next week, Tuesday, where we could be talking about those heat indices over 110. That's a trend that we see right now.
But for tomorrow, if we don't show up to work, we're outside.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us.